17 years ago, Buzz Williams became a national name in college basketball at Marquette University. 3 Sweet 16s, an Elite Eight, Jimmy Butler. 17 years ago, Buzz Williams became a national name in college basketball at Marquette University. 3 Sweet 16s, an Elite Eight, Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, and many more, as the Golden Eagles were among the best in the Big East. Until it all ended rather suddenly in 2014, and Buzz departed for Blacksburg. 11 years later, Buzz returns to Milwaukee. 3 jobs later, he's still one of the more unique figures in college hoops, and now is trying to take Maryland to new heights. The return of Buzz against Shaka's Golden Eagles. Big Ten, Big East, right now on Peacock.
And so that sets the stage on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Milwaukee as we welcome you to college basketball presented by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. A close-to-capacity crowd at Fiserv Forum. A mix of applause and some non-applause for Buzz Williams, who is back in Milwaukee, back at Marquette. Welcome, everybody. John Fanta, Donnie Marshall with you. It's a big early season game. These two teams could really use it. And then there's the emotion. Yeah. Buzz Williams said Marquette University changed his life. It's the first place that gave him that high major opportunity. What do you think of the emotion of this?
I think it's a tough balance because you're trying to focus on winning. You got a brand new team. You know what you have to deal with there, but you're back at a place that you won 100 games at. You know there's some emotion down deep. He's got to really suffocate that and think about what's going on the court today. It's hard.
How about the Maryland Terrapins? Yes, they have struggled from the perimeter, but they are going to look to ride their big man, Pharrell Payne, throughout the afternoon.
And he is a major pain so far for a lot of teams. He's got this NBA body. Really, with all of the talk about the freshmen around the country, we're losing sight of this upperclassman who is one of the better stories in college basketball today. More than 10 minutes a game than he's used to playing, so everything is going according to plan. With that body, he could probably play all 40 minutes, but they got a special player on that Maryland side there.
Let's talk about an all-Big East preseason first-team selection. You know this at Marquette. Roster retention. This is Chase Ross's time, isn't it?
Sometimes that's harder than going to get portal guys, to re-recruit the guys that you have, but he's that next-up guy. He has to be. He's got a featured role now. He is filling the shoes of a Cam Jones. I know no one at Marquette wants to admit that, but he is. He's the team's leading scorer. His assists are up. He can do it in so many ways. He has to continue to be vocal and also lead through his play for Shaka Smart's team.
Shaka Smart in his 5th season at Marquette. The prior 4 NCAA tournaments, a Sweet 16 in 2024. This program is all about keeping everybody in-house. Marquette, only high major to not take a transfer the last 3 years, and now it's about that experience breaking through today as the tip belongs to the Golden Eagles. Both these teams had first tests last week. Marquette lost to Indiana. Maryland fell to Georgetown.
And this is going to be something man-to-man that they're going to have to focus on here. It's been about 80% zone that Marquette has seen this season so far. I think they're better equipped to play against the man-to-man. But you have to stay assertive. You have to be aggressive. You know Buzz Williams' team is going to get up into guys defensively.
That is what Buzz Williams has made a habit of throughout his close to 2 decades as a head coach. Zayd Lowry off, and it's tapped out. It'll be Maryland basketball. Whistles John Gaffney, associated with Paul Zelk and Evan Burrows. As it's our starting lineups presented by Farmers Insurance. And you think about where these two teams are. Donnie, if there's a Maryland guard, somebody in the backcourt that you're buying in this game, who is it?
Yeah, I really think Diggy Coit is the one that makes them go. He shoots a lot of threes. Last year he shot 46 threes and only 32 twos, so you know where his bread is buttered, but he's got to be more of an all-around guard for Maryland.
The matchup we're watching, Caden Hamilton guarding inside, and on the other end, welcome to Marquette, Nigel James Jr.
I tell you what, you and I were fanboying on him yesterday at practice. I mean, and it's hard not to. He's really ahead of schedule. You know, you talked about Sean Jones dealing with some shoulder stuff, so next guy up.
Watch out, there's Diggy Coit, right on cue, the transfer from Kansas.
You got to find him behind that line. He's just so comfortable back there. And he's got, again, he can do the other things that Buzz Williams needs at that position. But you know what he can do the best, and that's knock down threes.
Maryland shoot around 7 a.m. And they sounded like they were about to play a March Madness game. Tons of energy in this building right out of the gates. They know what this means to their coach today.
It's one of the few places in the country that you have that student college feel energy that's in an NBA building. You don't get that a lot around the country.
Terrific field today. Pharrell Payne, one of the best players in the Big Ten, and a foul on that back down.
That's Caden Hamilton. Look, he is one of those guys that has the body to stand in there against Pharrell Payne. But you do everything right. You body, and the hands have to stay up and back. As soon as you come down a little bit, you almost break that plane of your arms being straight up to the ceiling. It's an easy call for the official. It's a hard position to guard against now even more, because you really can't put a forearm on a guy. You got to body up, and to me the advantage is with the offense.
Well, really hard to guard Mr. Payne as Mills is off. Pharrell Payne had 22 and 7 in the win over Alcorn State earlier this week. Look at Ross. Glide to the rim. Chase Ross.
So this is what I think Chase Ross gives you that Cam Jones didn't. Remember, Cam Jones was really a two-guard masquerading as a point guard. And to me, Chase Ross is a guy that he's an attacking guard. I don't think you can call him a point, a two-guard or an off-guard. He is an attacking guard, but he can also, again, back up and run your offense. That's him, to me, at his best, getting downhill.
Well, think about this. He averaged 2 assists per game last season. Now inserting into this role where he's got to be the lead horse. Already 5+ dishes in 3 of the first 4 games.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people will say, look, you have to look who they're playing against.
They got 2 seconds. They just turned it over. Lowry was trying to find James. It's back to Marquette.
We've already seen it. Those are the plays. We've seen 3. The tap out by Hamilton, the foul by Hamilton, and the extra effort plays. Marquette will get to that point. We just know when you've retained so much of what you've had, if you're Marquette, you know they're going to dial it in, because even though you bring guys back, John, a lot of these guys haven't played a lot of minutes together, so they'll get that. But when you see those effort plays, they're going to start to pay those off.
Maryland's still trying to figure themselves out.
Yes.
15 new players.
Well,
Coit is in rhythm.
He's not trying to figure anything out. This is what he does. I mean, he understands that if you back off of him any type of airspace, he can knock it down. Now, that's the area where he's going to have to advance, moving his feet, not getting up into guys. No silly fouls when you've just knocked down a couple of threes, but this is just too much room for him. I know there's some miscommunication there a little bit, but you have to know when you get down to that end of the floor who's going to hurt you from behind the line, and he is first, second, and third on that list.
Buzz Williams said if our guards can take care of it, we make some perimeter shots. They only made 4 against Georgetown last Friday as Ross is long on the 3. He said that could change everything because, Donnie, he knows he can find an advantage on the interior with his big men.
I think you can insert any team name that if we take care of the ball, we're going to be in a better way, especially on the road.
Watts lines it up. What a start for Maryland. Isaiah Watts, the Washington State transfer.
Yeah. I grew up with his father and huge fan growing up in the Seattle area of his grandfather, Slick Watts, Donald Watts. One of my guys out there in the Pacific Northwest.
Went to the NBA Finals with the Seattle Supersonics, did Slick Watts. Ben Gold, he's a key player in this game for you, and one.
He really is. He's just one of those guys that obviously we know he's more comfortable at the power forward position. But your scouting report says he's a stretch 4. He's going to shoot threes. The fact that he's done this already a couple times this season shows that he understands his role is going to change, and he's going to be expected to be able to do more than just catch and shoot threes.
He is a senior from New Zealand. Shaka Smart said, look, he's been great for us in practice, but this is a different entity, and you're no longer being counted on to be 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
You got to be number 2 to Mr. Ross. Maryland 3 for 3 to start from 3. Again, 4 for 21 against Georgetown just over a week ago, so this is an encouraging sign for the Terrapins. 7 on the shot clock for Coit. Diggy Coit, that's a step back. He hit that from College Park. Wow.
Tell you, that's what he does. You almost have to get up into him, make him a driver. He's hit 3 threes already.
Game on. Lowry deflected back to the Terps.
Well, Diggy, don't call me David. Coit is setting the tone for the Terrapins. His 3rd 3 of the game. We got a good one here, folks.
Big East basketball is brought to you by Discover. With Discover, fans can earn cash back on their game day purchases. And by Jeep. There's only one. Oh, from Jimmy Butler to Darius Johnson, Odom, Jarrell McNeil, his jersey getting hung in the rafters. So many terrific players that came through for Buzz Williams at Marquette and beyond. Donnie, this is a really interesting career arc because you notice the trend. He's been to the second weekend. He made an Elite 8 at Marquette, 6 seasons at Marquette, then 5 at Virginia Tech, 6 at Texas A&M. But before that, he was 1 year at New Orleans, leaves, goes to be an assistant for Tom Crean, and then Father Robert Wild, Steve Cottingham say, we're going to elevate this guy as our head coach.
Spoiled brat after you see all those players he had. Spoiled. What a wonderful coach he is, though.
As Mills slides in and finishes, Andre Mills, who redshirted last year.
And that was a developmental redshirt. Usually it's because of an injury. Sometimes, not too often anymore, but sometimes an academic. But he really took advantage of it, and you see how the development has helped. I will say, going back out of a timeout, that can't happen if you're Marquette. Marquette understands, especially the length of the court. If it's an out-of-bounds under, side out-of-bounds in the front court, I can understand, but not length of the court, not a layup at the rim out of a timeout. That's a no-no.
A 14-5 Maryland run. Make it 16-5. It's Payne.
Yeah, too much. They're disconnected, not as a unit, Marquette, right now, just from the guy that they're guarding. Too much airspace, probably not enough hands. You know, this team wants 32 deflections. They're not even close to getting one just yet, John. They got to get up into guys a little bit, be a little bit more physical with Maryland.
Maryland, a 13-2 surge as Coit is off with the runner.
Yeah, much better. Stevens, really good job. Staying in front, making it difficult, and that's all you want. Just try to make it difficult.
Royce Parham, the sophomore. Shaka Smart was glowing about him yesterday.
Yeah, Parham has to be the next guy when you talk about who's going to step up. If it's Ben Gold, you know, if it's one of your younger guys, Parham, I think, is kind of that second guy after Ross to say, okay, jump on. I can take up some of the weight off of Ross.
Coit, he threw that to the Marquette bench, back to the Golden Eagles.
And that's what you want. There's two stops there. A miss and now a turnover. So now this is how you get your momentum. You get your crowd back into this game a little bit if you're Marquette. Maryland's done a really nice job. You come out, you weather the storm of being on the road the first 5 minutes, at least win that 4-minute battle. They did just that. They're comfortable right now, but for Maryland, they got to keep their foot on the gas.
Well, that's the intrigue with Marquette. Because of the fact that they just keep it in-house, they haven't taken a transfer the last 3 years. Shaka Smart believes in relationships, growth, victory. RGV's on all their branding as we get a foul underneath.
What a rebound.
As Trey Norman is fouled. So the question, Donnie, is
what a rebound.
You were around the team yesterday all throughout the afternoon. What do you make of this Marquette machine of retention?
The energy in that building is second to none. There's Norman's rebound again. That's a man rebound. That's what they need to do. You talk about controlling, taking care of the ball, but controlling the glass is so important. But the energy around the team is really unlike any that we've seen in a long time. That parents were at the practice. Shaka really loves and he just dives into it. He wants this to be a family affair, and it is. You can feel it. There's nothing fake about it. I mean, he's done a really nice job, not only of trying to temper people's kind of expectations of the portal era, but also winning at the same time and keeping that winning tradition. I think he understands what's important, family, relationships, and you got a feel for that, John, in that building, in that practice arena yesterday. It was special. It really was.
How does Maryland get through this pressure?
Yeah, take a breath, space. You know, I would just clear out. I don't think you even need to be up there. When they're pressing full court, all your guys move out of the way.
Nice dish from Adams downstairs to Payne.
And Payne gets comfortable down there. He can clear out some space. I think you have to make him a scorer, though. I think you have to make him make a few moves and not just be a catch and go up guy.
Parham. In and out. Offensive rebound for the Golden Eagles. Parham playing with aggression. Got 3 looks at it, couldn't hit. How about a 4th opportunity? That's a foul.
Yeah, gotta get that ball up. I love it. I do love the continuation calls now, too. That wasn't one there, but it makes guys understand that you have to get that ball going towards the hoop. And your priority now, which we haven't seen in the last few years, has to be scoring first, contact second. A lot of times players at the college level try to get the contact, get the foul before they really focus on scoring. That is the type of energy that Shaka Smart is looking for from his bigs. They have size to compete with Maryland, but they have to go right at the chest of guys in red, and they did it on that play there.
Caden Hamilton, redshirted in 2023-24. The foul was on Payne, by the way. Now, in his 3rd year with the program, redshirt sophomore being asked to take on a big role. Won a state championship at St. Joseph High School in California. And you talk with him a little while, because what he's trying to deal with in game is not letting one play define his body language and attitude.
Yeah, he's a special talent.
A steal taken back by Maryland. James battles for it. It'll be Terps ball.
Caden Hamilton is a wonderful, just a wonderful human being to be around. Obviously, he's got a high ceiling, and he's one of those returners who, you know, didn't get a ton of minutes. He's going to be thrust into that, but he has to. And I was similar as a player. Sometimes you hang on to that last mistake you made. My coaches used to say, look, you can't, there's going to be a lot of criticism. And I told him this. There are going to be a lot of people who are going to have negativity about you. You can't be the first in line to have the criticism about yourself. But you know what that tells me is he cares. You know, he's not just trying to get on to the next play. He's trying to fix that last one, but you can't hang on to it too long.
Maryland 7 for their first 9 from the field, 4 of 4 from downtown. This is the key. Buzz Williams said, we gotta take care of the ball. 42 turnovers combined in their first 3 games.
I mean, that happens when you have an entirely brand new team of so many guys. One guy cuts, you think he's gonna pop. It's just, it will come because you know you have talent on that side of on your side of the floor. It just takes a lot of patience early for a coach, especially like Buzz Williams, who you know is a perfectionist.
Well, that's big because that's the 2nd foul on Caden Hamilton. So, Donnie, he's got to sit down, and now Josh Clark is inserted.
And we talked to Shaka about this yesterday. You know, Josh Clark and, you know, some of their younger guys who really are new to everything going on here, they're going to be thrown into the fire, so to speak, and you see what they're made of.
Big time.
But I always say there's a reason you're here. Not to sit over there and watch, it's to play.
Payne is
Really
swarmed
nice
by
job.
2 defenders.
Nice job not fouling.
That's a difficult baseline, Jay, and the hot start continues. Isaiah Watts.
And a really nice job by Payne to stay with that play and to keep fighting to find a teammate.
This has been a bolt of energy energy out of the gates from the Terps as Ross is fouled by Saunders.
Saunders did his job. You get out, you push out. Now you have to wait for some help because Ross loves that matchup if it stays. Saunders, you did your job. You don't have to create another foul. Just wait for a teammate to come and get your help, and now you retreat. Sometimes, though, when your coach is saying into him, you're just a little bit overly aggressive. Got to be smart on the road, though, and save those fouls.
Tough drive. Good deflection by Metcalf. Northeastern transfer. All over it. 12 on the shot clock.
Well, you can see the athleticism, though, here. Maybe just a little too much moving the ball. At some point, you got to go into a guy's chest. Again, you know, the trying to hang in the air and all that stuff. You got to get it done.
Now 8 on the shot clock. Clark. Now 4 on the shot clock. Lowry kicks. Ross. It's short. How about the rebound pursuit by Saunders?
Really nice job holding the guy off and then going and getting it.
This a welcome sight for Maryland to be shooting 80%, but there's the bugaboo, their 4th giveaway. Ross got stripped, lost it. Maryland can run if they'd like. Adams fouled by Parham. The Terps have come out rolling, and their head coaches return to Milwaukee. Sunday night, the Lions come roaring into Philly for primetime showdown as Jared Goff leads Detroit against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Sunday, 7 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Look to the Milwaukee public market. Turned 20 years old this year. You can get your sausage, your cheese, even some lake perch, Donnie.
Even some plant-based food in there, too.
Somewhere. I didn't find it. Even, you know, the bananas are here.
Yes.
They're in the House of Fiserv for him. Buzz Williams, we talked about him getting the opportunity at Marquette. How about the fact that he was a student assistant at Navarro Junior College from 1990 to 92. Tries his best, grew up in Texas. He walks in and Louis Orr, the coach there, gives him a shot and says, hey, you're going to be a floor sweeper during practice. Got inducted into the college's Hall of Fame for being that floor sweeper. Then, Donnie, you can understand this with different coaching journeys. In January 94, he goes to the financial aid office at Oklahoma City University. He says, I need to get to the Final Four for my career. I need an emergency student loan. They give it to him for $1,200. He gets a flight, a round-trip ticket to Charlotte. He meets with hundreds of coaches. And finally, UT Arlington, the one that gives him his first shot, Eddie McCarter. Buzz drove to McCarter's house and waited for him to return from the Final Four on a Tuesday and said, Coach, I want to work for you. And Eddie said, you're crazy, son, but you got a job.
That's amazing. You'd get arrested for stalking today. You know, times have changed. Well, a wise man once said, all I do is win, win, win no matter what. And that's what Buzz does.
Yes, he does. And his team is winning right now. What has impressed you the most about the start?
You know, I think, again, you get into a game on the road, you weather the storm. I mean, you have turned the ball over a few times, but you've held Marquette to 1 of 9 from 3 now. So you've done the job on the perimeter. And some people on the other side will say we're not making shots from 3, but I'm sure Buzz is telling his guys, look, we held them so far 1 for 9.
Adams lost it. They rule it Maryland ball.
And you've limited Marquette to only 1 assist. I mean, that's not Marquette's way. Now, they only have 5 field goals made, but they still only have 1 assist. And all but 3 baskets for the Terrapins have been assisted. So this is exactly what you're looking for. Not, like I keep saying, on the road, but not just on the road, but every game. That's how you want to start.
The welcome 3 for Marquette and Zay Lowry. Just 5 on the year thus far. Coit again. It's Dickey's day thus far. He's got a dozen. 4 threes for Coit. open and connects.
And that's what he does really well for Shaka Smart. The problem has been the closeouts have been really good for Maryland. Guys have kind of been up. They haven't been comfortable, Marquette. Already 2 threes.
Oh, too easy. Here comes the pain and one.
Boy, oh boy. Again, you know, you don't have to, I don't even think you really have to front Pharrell Payne. I don't like this. I don't like the front. The angle is too tough to now for you to front. Stay behind, make him work. But this right here, you got to know what's coming from Diggy Coit. I mean, that's just what he does. You get him in front of you. You gotta get up into Diggy Coit. His career is 36% from 3. Before today, he took 628 threes over his career. Again, that, you know, it's a career that was Northern Illinois and Kansas, and 410 twos. So that right there, the numbers alone, they tell you what he wants to do. And he's showing that today.
Got a huge smile. And before Northern Illinois, Atlantic Cape Community College.
Yeah.
So he's seen it all in his career.
And he's playing inspired basketball because he knows this is what you want. You want to level up, and he's done that. Didn't get a lot of time last year at Kansas, so he's making up for some lost time.
Parham attacking, and we asked Shaka Smart yesterday, how do you execute in the half court? He said, we're still trying to figure out who we are on that end of the floor.
Right now, Maryland is just more physical on that end. You know, they're really standing their ground. They're not allowing Marquette to put the ball on the floor. They've only allowed a couple of wide open shots. So defensively, they really have the edge right now. And Buzz Williams has done a wonderful job. You shouldn't be surprised at preparing his guys. It's early in the season. It's hard when you got an entirely new roster, but boy, has he got them prepared for this game so far today.
Into Payne. They have not had a matchup for number 21 in red. Not many will. Pharrell Payne has 9. He hasn't missed a shot.
It's just too easy. You got to allow him, you got to push him away from the basket and make him go to work. Right now, the Terrapins so comfortable in Buzz Williams' return to Milwaukee.
Donnie, Pharrell Payne has owned this game thus far.
He has, and he's kept it simple, and his teammates have kept it simple for him. That's just no ball pressure on the out-of-bounds underpass, and Ben Gold is on an island because his back is to the ball. So right now, this isn't Marquette basketball that we're used to seeing over the years. There has to be tough ball pressure, make that pass difficult, and it also has to be Ben Gold pushing Payne up the lane a little bit. I know you can't turn and see the ball. You don't want it going behind you. But you just have to be better, you know?
Well, Pharrell Payne in a preseason interview, Maryland does a great series, Meet the Terps. And he said, you know I've got to be that voice in this locker room. He came with Buzz Williams, one of 4 to come with Buzz from Texas A&M. 15 total transfers to this program. Buzz just glows about Payne's attitude. And you can see it on the court. Gravitational player. Chase Ross.
Really nice job. The spacing was wonderful. And what made that work was the move was made on the pass. So now when the defense shifts, you change directions. If you're Chase Ross, go the other way, they can't catch up, and you make an acrobatic play at the rim. But this is where they're going to have to step in a little bit, talking about Marquette. They got to make it uncomfortable just a little.
Darius Adams, 5-star freshman, illegal screen. That's not Payne. That's Payne's second foul.
Yeah. And that's a tough one. When the guard is handling the ball that high, you're trying so hard. It's what bigs always do. They're trying to get a piece of your man, but just stay right there. And that was a great sell, too. You know, maybe when you're setting that screen, you bring those feet in, because that's what officials are watching. Your lower body, stretching those feet out. Easy call with the trip.
Mark that moment down. 8:59 to go in the half. 11-point game, and Payne exits with 2. Third meeting all time between these two teams. It started the home and home last year. Marquette got the road win behind Cam Jones in College Park. Parham.
I want Parham to keep shooting it, though. He's got to keep going, keep being aggressive. Can't back off. I know you're struggling now shooting the basketball. You're 1 for 5, but you have to, 1 for 6, excuse me. He's got to stay aggressive.
Marquette is 2 of 11 from 3. Maryland 5 for 6. 7 on the shot clock. Adams. Darius Adams can do that.
Yeah, he is going to be so special. Man, oh man. Really knows how to get downhill. Great speed.
He's going to head to Connecticut. Ends up at Maryland with a big opportunity.
Man.
That's Ross again. He's going to keep trying, and he connects.
And he has the fluorescent green light for Shaka Smart. Just because of that, what we talked about earlier, the retention, Shaka trusts him. He understands the process, Chase Ross. He knows exactly what his team needs, what the coach expects.
Adams a little long, deflected, back to the Golden Eagles. We've got a timeout. We've got a 10-point game. Big Ten, Big East, a Saturday afternoon. A loaded day of college hoops on Peacock. College basketball is back on NBC and Peacock, and it's a battle of top 25 teams as number 14 Michigan takes on All-American Anna Hidalgo and number 18 Notre Dame in the Shamrock Classic. Today, 4 Eastern time on NBC and Peacock.
Hannah better pick it up. She's only, I mean, she needs to step her game up. She's only averaging, what, 34? She needs to stop tripping and pick it up a little bit, Hannah.
16 steals the other night. Woo! Incredible.
Man, oh, man.
Meanwhile, during the timeout, this building was going crazy because there's Marquette greatness all over this building today for Jarrell McNeil's jersey to get hung in the rafters. These students always show out. Dominic James, Wesley Matthews, Dwight Burke, Trent Blackledge, Rob Jackson, Dwayne Wilson. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of big names, and there is Jarrell, one of the good guys.
Man, oh man. It's awesome to see all those guys come back to support him too. I think it's wonderful. I love that schools retire numbers. It does mean a lot to players, especially the further away you get from your program playing days. Not every school embraces that. I love that about Marquette. And they have some studs that have come through this building as well, or at least the practice building.
Oh, by the way, the team they're playing today, they've got stud alumni too.
Yeah, they do, just a few.
Some of the greats.
Only a couple. Actually, one of them, his son is on the roster, Steve Blake's son.
Yes. Elmore, Bias, Vasquez, just so many. It's fun to hear Gary Williams stories throughout the past couple of days. Such a tradition-rich program.
Nick Blake, I got to give him love. I know Steve was a wonderful player at Maryland, good NBA player as well. National champ, his dad.
So Marquette trying to get within single digits. Again, Payne is off the floor for Maryland with 2 fouls. Ben Gold, bring it up. The sweet sound of college basketball. These fans don't wait until January to get into the building. They're in it all the time. Coit, he will go to the line for a pair.
And this is, to me, the guy that has to get going. It's a little bit of a zone look here, but the Red Mamba, 3-ball corner pocket, that's what I'm calling him.
Are you trademarking
Ben
that?
Gold.
This is
No. He and I had a nice conversation.
Okay.
Well, it actually came from one of his teammates. And he actually blushed when I called him the Red Mamba. It's like sometimes you just got to accept the nickname.
Yes.
There's no one's taking a poll with you in it. You just got to accept it. I like that better than people saying, "Oh, my nickname is a little stomach ache," or something, something like that.
You were called all kinds of names in college.
Oh, was I? coach, the refs.
James off the heel, offensive board for Marquette. That's their 8th offensive rebound. They have 8 to none for Maryland. It's also because Maryland's been so hot shooting the ball. James, wow.
Air.
The future's now.
Yeah. Really has a good way about him. You see the poise, using his body, taking the contact, balance. That was a veteran move there.
By the way, Adrian Stevens checked in for Marquette, the freshman. They love his upside defensively. They've got some Stevie Mitchell in him. That doesn't go for Saunders. Marquette is starting to pick up a rhythm, and a bucket here, and you're going to hear this place. Gold gave thought. Gold kicks. Stevens to James. Still 10 on the shot clock. Parham nearly stripped. James.
How about that?
To the corner.
Trying to go.
Looking good on the offensive glass. Stevens. It's an 11-1 run, and it sounds like a zoo. Timeout, Maryland, listen in.
All set up by the extra effort play. Marquette taking care of home, back in this game.
I'm Jack Collinsworth. Coming up on the Jeep Halftime Report, I'm joined by Matt McCall and Dallin Cuff. Georgetown, their best start in 8 years. Are they back, we ask, and what that might mean for the Big East as a whole, plus what Buzz Williams has done right in his return to Marquette. John and Donnie, we'll see you shortly at the half.
We look forward to it, Jack.
Hoya Saxa. How about that?
That's a big win for Ed Cooley. Now they've got 2 over Maryland and now Clemson. Marquette's on an 11-1 run. What's changed?
I think the obvious is Pharrell Payne in foul trouble goes to the bench, but I also think that Shaka Smart has said we're not going to leave it to them to control just because a player goes out. Move the basketball, let space a little. Maryland did show a little bit of a wonky zone there, and I think that it kept them from being more aggressive and kept guys out of the area, but knocking down threes, the simple answer is you're knocking down shots now. It's much deeper than that, but to see that ball go through the basket for Marquette, especially 4.5 before halftime, is big.
That's a tough shot off the pull-up. That's not what we saw from Maryland's offense earlier. Mills is off.
Well, you can extend out a little bit more. That Payne's defensively, that Payne's on the bench.
Whoa! Oh, save holy cheese curd!
Great day in the morning. There was no way I thought this pass was going to be caught. And I'm going to tell you how good this was. Players on the Maryland bench showed some emotion. Wow.
You almost fell out of your chair.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah,
We've seen it all. That was tremendous.
That
Goodness.
You and I have been doing games for probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. That's up there for the best dunk we've ever seen live, right?
Yeah, that was special.
That free throw ends a 13-1 run. Wow.
And I got to give you credit, partner. I don't think it's that obvious. You said just mark this time in the game when Payne went to the bench. And that's when that run started.
Okay, let's relive.
I mean, we could just watch this the rest of the half. That's all. You don't have to see the game. It was It was funny because guys on that Maryland bench, when the ball went the other way, making sure no one was looking, you could see them. They were conversing about it.
Wow.
It was special.
Nigel James is short. Gold on the offensive glass. It'll stay with Marquette, but Donnie, Marquette has 10 offensive rebounds to none for Maryland.
And I know you said earlier that, you know, Maryland wasn't missing shots, but let's face it, they're shooting 63%, but Marquette also has 8 defensive rebounds. So they've done the job on the defensive end as well. Now they're plus 10 on the glass, and that's how you stay in games, and really that's how you win games. I know so many coaches talk about turnovers, but controlling the glass is everything.
Maryland led 32-19 when Pharrell Payne exited with 2 fouls. I also am just curious, what's your viewpoint on the wrestling that a coach goes through when a player gets 2 early fouls? Are you of the belief of, okay, I just got to sit them the rest of the half, or do you ever entertain?
I mean, you get 5. You know how many times do you see that happen, and then the game, the player ends with 3.
Yep.
So they give you 5 for a reason, and you have to have some trust in your player when he has those, and that's probably the hard part. Trusting your player to know, stay aggressive, but you can't pick up any more silly fouls. The one that he picked up, the last one away from the basket, you know, some 28 feet. That one I think is avoidable. You know, I think the guard at the time, I think that was Adams, could have pushed him down and said, go away. But again, you know, you can pick your nits with that all you want, but guys have to play basketball. They're playing on instinct. When you see a guard who needs help, you go try to set a screen.
Ben Golchak's back in. Chase Ross, preseason All-Big East first team. Dallas native. Shaka Smart, from the time he got to the program, he said he's our kind of guy, lunch pail guy. Already with 9 in this first half, and just cuts it down to 1 as Maryland has hit 8 fouls. Both teams are in the bonus, and what that second make allows you to do here, Donnie, is what Marquette has done, and that's apply some sort of pressure. Shaka Smart said our defense has to create offense. Maryland's gone 5 minutes without a made field goal.
And Marquette's changing up their look now in a zone, and it's an extended zone. You have to have it extended with Watts and Coit that far away from the basket.
Second foul on James, so Watts is going to head to the free throw line as both teams are in some trouble.
And that's what James has to understand. When you're in a zone, you're not playing one-on-one defense. You're playing an area. You're not playing a man. So those fouls should not happen that far away from the basket. This is what you'll learn. You know, again, you don't need, just keep him in front. You're almost shading him one way, not trying to defend like it's one-on-one basketball.
Second free throw by Watts in the season. Marquette has not led since it was 5-3. They were down 13. Payne exited with 2 fouls. It has completely changed the first half. Ross, Marquette leads.
And how about their assists have also come up, John? The ball movement is there. Now they have 6 assists to Maryland's 7. At one point, it was 5-1.
Adams out of control. Marquette will look to run. Buzz Williams remembers this sound. This afternoon, he's on the other side of it. Stevens. Shot clock's at 10. Lowry flashed in. He's long, and Maryland gets a much-needed stop. They don't have a made field goal in 6 minutes. Coit is fouled by Stevens.
Another tough foul. You're reaching in, down. You got him where you want him. When you're guarding Coit, you got him downhill. Now make him be a decision maker. This is no disrespect to great three-point shooters. They'd rather be out knocking down shots than being decision makers to have to get other guys involved. You had him where you want him. You reach in. And now he's going to hurt you at the foul line here. You got a little momentum. Just have to play that game within the game a little bit.
Taking a look at our upcoming games. And how about tomorrow? Number 1, Connecticut, the women, welcoming in Ohio State, Gino Auriemma's reigning national champions.
Yeah, another guy who needs to step his game up a little bit.
Well, then Friday on Peacock, A.J. DeBonsa and BYU will take on John Blackwell, Wisconsin. That is a phenomenal matchup. Kyan Anthony also in action this afternoon with Syracuse. Ben Gold wasted no time. It was an air ball. Look at Lowry cutting in, Donnie. Off-ball movement.
And I can just sense the NBA scouts in the building salivating over Lowry. He's knocked down a 3, emphatic dunk, using his athleticism, getting to the rim. And Adam shows you a little bit of why he's so highly touted.
He just,
the crowd.
He lit up Nike EYBL. Lowry again out of control. And that's a foul.
And that's a tough one.
Saunders will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, you're on the ground. There's really nothing you can do. And really, you're kind of taught, which he was a little out of control trying to find the contact. And the pass came a little behind him, Lowry, and the fans don't like it. I understand both perspectives, the refs and the fans. But when you get hit, you're always taught finish high, throw that ball up high, give it a chance to go in. That was probably a little bit tough of a situation to do that for Zay Lowry.
Well, this is the strength for Maryland. 24.3 free throws per game, 15th most in the nation. 24.3 makes on average per game.
Yeah.
They're averaging an 82% rate at the free throw line. That's also top 15 as Saunders is off on the first. Buzz Williams said, look, we can get there. Gotta make them.
The conversation has to be offensive rebounds. You remember this, Buzz's A&M team led the country in offensive rebound rate the past 2 seasons. And again, you can say they're making shots, but there have been a couple. Marquette has 10 defensive rebounds, so there are some out there that can be gotten, if you will.
Ross stop and go. Goal to Lowry. And trying a 3. Chase Ross again. He's got 16 points.
That was started out a really good defensive set by Maryland. Just a short closeout. You stop short if you're Adams. Again, there's some growth there. It's got to be there. Again, if Ross is knocking down shots, you got to chase him off that line. And he is on fire right now.
What a first half, partner.
It's everything we expected it would be.
High-level atmosphere, too, for Buzz Williams' return to Marquette. Coit. Short. Rebound to Hamilton. 7-second difference between shot and game.
And this is where you benefit from having a guy like Chase Ross in this role, a veteran, calm, headed into halftime in a great game.
Bengold. A foul on Maryland. It's on Diggy Coy. It'll be free throws. A 1-1.
And I like the shot. Some people may think that it was too early, but it's Ben Gold wide open. You're going to say that's okay, and it allowed you an opportunity for an offensive rebound, which we've already illustrated. They're doing a great job, 11-0 in terms of offensive rebounds in favor of Marquette. So sometimes you think run that clock down, get it late, get the last shot. But if you have a good one and you're open, creates a lot of opportunities if you don't make it.
While Caden Hamilton's at the line. Maryland had a 13-point lead. They could go into the locker room down at the half. If you were Buzz Williams, what would you say to your group?
I would say we can't just rely on one guy to keep us in a game, and that's Pharrell Payne. Stay aggressive, move the ball a little bit. The last couple of threes for Coit have been short.
This offers some momentum. That's a foul on Stevens, and that's one you're knocking on the table. Why?
Because you don't need, you have momentum if you're Marquette. You don't necessarily need to steal that. And if you did, how were you going to steal that? You were going to maybe poke it out of bounds. Again, this is a team that has been, they have thrived on deflections. So I understand they're trying to get deflections, but you had momentum going into half. It's one you'd probably want back. Timing was just a little off, but you can't be upset for the aggression.
Well, Isaiah Watts, 67% free throw shooter last year, wearing that mask. It's already getting the Batman terms from the student section in College Park. They love their turf. 6.8 here.
Things are hard to wear for a shooter too. You see it every time you look at the hoop.
All right, what do you do? 6 seconds.
Yeah, you got to go. Got to go. I don't think this. I love the full court pressure. Discomfort here a little bit. Got to go.
James, freshman, you're down to 4. Bounce pass, Lowry, and that will not count. We're tied at the half.
Really nice job. Great start by Maryland. Weathered the storm early, some foul trouble, set them back, but Marquette took advantage. They stayed aggressive. They kept moving the basketball, controlled the offensive glass. That's what got them back in this game.
And there's your note. 23-12 run after the Payne foul. Our score of the half, Maryland 42, Marquette 42. Fantastic atmosphere. Right after this break, we'll send you to the Jeep halftime report with Jack, Matt, and Dallin.
Welcome to the Jeep Halftime Report.
Remember, Marquette, they trailed by 13 points with 8 minutes left in half number 1. Stormed back. Maryland's David Coit, 15 points, 4 of 6 from deep, but watch this. Making it nasty. Zayd Lowry levitating.
Holy cheese curd.
Holy cheese curds. That's the call of the day so far.
Also, yeah, footnote Fanta, please. That was not us. That was Fanta. Well done.
Everybody knows who that was.
The whole world knows who that was.
It's a warm welcome home for Buzz Williams, fellas. What stands out on the court, Dallin?
Great analysis coming your way here, guys. Making shots matters in basketball. At one point, Maryland was 80% from the floor, and Marquette was 30%. That started to water finds its level, and Coit was great early on. They started to turn that off a little bit. They then, themselves, Marquette, made a couple shots, 2 for 12 to start, and from the three-point line, 5 of their next 10. That helped set their defense. This all happened while Pharrell Payne went to the bench. They were at 13 when he went to the bench. When your big fella came out, they weren't getting good shots, the Terps, and Marquette was able to turn the entire tide of this game by making some jumpers.
The energy level in the building, too. And Payne going out impacts this game in a lot of different ways, especially from a rebounding perspective. If you look at what Marquette was able to do on the backboard, they have 15 more field goal attempts than the other team. When you get to shoot more than the other team, the name of the game, the ball is probably going to go in the basket more than the other team, and you still have a tie basketball game. Payne's going to get back out there in the second half. The biggest question mark for this Marquette team was, can Chase Ross be the next guy? Tyler Kolek 2 years ago, right? To get Cam Jones last year. Can this guy be the next guy? He's playing like it in the first half of this basketball game. A high-level game, has 16 points, 5 for 9 from the field.
I will say this game is a testament to Shaka Smart and how his team is coached. Because when you can't throw in the ocean. Nobody hung their head. They kept playing. They kept battling. Mentioned the offensive boards helped keep them alive in this game. And at one point when it was so lopsided, they were still only down by 7 points. It felt like a lot more than that because they couldn't make a shot. But this team has a toughness about it. I think with Buzz Williams in the locker room and out, I think guys have to regroup. And Pharrell Payne has to be a focal point coming out of the locker room. And Coit's hot, but you don't need to get up a shot every time. He's asked to do a lot more of this team than he has in the past of his career. He's the lead guard at times. He's got to set people up. He's got to look for his shot, but look to get guys involved and primarily make sure Payne is the focal point in the half court.
Well, the thing about Payne, too, how he impacts the game in so many different ways, it's not just his scoring, getting 20 points per game, but he's setting the screens. He's setting the screens to get Coit open. Coit's a three-point shooter. They need him to shoot threes, but Payne is the one setting him up a lot of times. He accounts for so much offense. So it's not panic mode for Maryland. If you're Buzz Williams, you're in there, hey, guys, we got to play harder. They have 15 more shot attempts than us. We have to play harder. We have to play better in the second half, but we're right where we need to be.
Yeah, Maryland just efficient three-point shooting there in half number 1. Clemson and Georgetown. That was the noon tip-off today. Why that final score? It got close late. Why that final score had one of us saying, could they be back? Could Georgetown be back, and what that might mean for the conference? We'll discuss next. All right, now let's catch you up on Clemson and Georgetown. Second half is where we take you. Caleb Williams.
I tell you what, there are some question marks on three-point shooting about this team going into this game. But, man, did they make some big ones. As you see, Isaiah Abraham with the big-time block on the inside. But Dallin Cuff, the story of the day was this guy, KJ Lewis. What a performance by him.
He was outstanding. 5 steals, one of his 5. He had a critical one, and the game was on the line later. 26 points, 15 in the second stanza. This was the difference in the game. In the second half, they were able to get the ball in the paint. The Hoyas kick out 3. Malik Mack hits a huge one. Their guards outplayed him. How about this? Screen the back of the zone. Vincent Iwuchukwu.
Got to communicate. Got to communicate in the zone, no question about it. But KJ Lewis, always active, jumping in the passing lanes. And still here, the and one and the finish and the flex to the student section. The Hoyas are celebrating down in D.C.
All right, Matt, you know how we do it. You start 4-0. The question's simple. Is Georgetown back?
If you look at the Big East right now, 2 signature wins in the Big East. I know it's early. Who's got the 2 signature wins in the Big East?
Clemson's a good win. I wouldn't exactly call it a signature win.
Okay.
Clemson could be a tournament team. That's big for maybe the Big East in terms of the Big East and the ACC in your leagues when you're setting these metrics right now. But let's be real. If Georgetown's back, that's like the U is back. We're talking like Georgetown is a pop cultural force for 2 decades.
It's Miami, good for college
a pop
basketball.
Cultural force for 3 years. They will never be back. They will never repeat what happened decades ago. Can they be relevant again? Can they be a tournament team? That, I think, could absolutely happen. But to be back, that's a different question.
It's good for college basketball. It's
Never
good
say
for
never.
college basketball.
Yeah.
Listen,
Jack, I'm saying never. There was a different animal with Zoe and Ewing and everything that Big John Thompson had going on. That was a different thing.
You said Pat Ewing's not walking through that door?
You want to play the Patino game? He ain't walking through that door. We can do this all day.
What have they improved most? Let's start with that.
Well, it just takes some time. I know we live in a what have you done for me now lately, transfer portal. Why can't you flip it right away? Ed Cooley hasn't forgotten how to coach.
Yeah.
Ed Cooley knows how to coach. What he did at Providence was super. Just needed the time. Needed time to get adjusted to the job. He's got the right guys in there with him. They're running great offense. Even late in the game when Clemson tried to jump to that zone, to have that play in your back pocket, love watching this team play.
There's been no coach that I talked to before the season was more excited about coaching a player than Ed Cooley and KJ Lewis. He lit up. He said, this guy is a dog. You're going to see it. You're going to feel it. The country's going to see it and feel it. Well, we saw it today. 26 points, 15 in the second half. They made him inefficient in the first half. That's why they were down at the break. He was 2 for 8. He was forcing the issue at times. Their bigs were in foul trouble. They looked disjointed. In the second half, he imposed his will on the game. He was outstanding. Williams and Mack were as well, and they out-executed him down the stretch. When it got tight again, they made plays in the offensive end. You mentioned the zone play. And then, of course, he had the steal the other way and the and one. That ended the game. Put it at 6 points. It was over.
I think you bring up a great point in terms of the Big East as well as a whole. You look at the top. St. John's and UConn, clearly I think everybody would agree that is the top of this league. Who's going to be next? Can it be this Hoya team? For the league as a whole, for them to win these 2 games early against Maryland and today against Clemson is going to carry weight come Selection Sunday.
This is the thing right now. Why these games matter in November, December, they are setting your metrics and baking them in. So when you get to January, you can't almost improve in league play. If your league is viewed as good, you have good wins in January and February. If your league is viewed as poor, you have bad wins in January and February. The ACC has struggled with this in recent years, so Clemson losing this game really matters for them and matters for the ACC, who had a good first couple weeks. This is really big for the Big East.
I like this discussion. Let's check out some Jeep first half stats. Never say never. I tried to sneak it in. He wouldn't even let me get away with it. And this is what the numbers look like at half number 1. 5 of 10. You got to love that for Maryland from deep. 7 of 24. A few more shots in the air for Marquette on the other side. Tie ball game at the break. Second half headed your way. Next.
This has been the Jeep Halftime Report.
Welcome back to college basketball presented by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. Maryland led by 13 at one point. Marquette is even the score. Final 20 coming your way from the Fiserv Forum. John Fanta, Donnie Marshall, a whole bunch of Golden Eagle alums. Jarrell McNeil hugging someone in the background. This does not feel like an early season game. These 2 teams have gone at it. Your thoughts on the opening 20?
This is what college basketball is all about today, but it really is about, with these teams, guys who have been around. And Pharrell Payne, look, Marquette, I thought, came into this game almost playing him like he was Hakeem Olajuwon. And he hasn't really done anything other than powered them up, overpowered when he has the basketball. that stretched them out. Well, he goes out of the game with a couple of fouls. Things start to shrink a little bit in terms of now your defense isn't stabilized by a big down low. And offensively, I think Maryland wasn't the same because, and Marquette sensed that, but Chase Ross was the difference, getting downhill, knocking down threes, and just being an all-around leader for this Marquette team. It's what got him back in the game.
As we take a look at the numbers, and again, Payne limited to just 10 minutes. And you're talking about a guy who was barely off the floor against Georgetown last Friday. In fact, in that game, Payne played every minute but 2. So 10 minutes in the first half. The gas has to be in the car. He's got a full tank for this second half.
Yeah.
He does have the 2 fouls.
And I thought each foul was self-inflicted by Payne. But that's going to happen to a guy whose minutes are extended, situational plays on offense are extended. He's in a different, listen, I know you're with the same coach, but there's more expected of you, so he's going to be thrust into situations that he's not always comfortable in. He's learning as he goes as well as a senior.
Look, Diggy Coit was red hot in the first half.
Yeah.
He's got 15. Let's see if he can get something cooking. If not, maybe Mills or Adams. They've got options.
And this is really the first time we've seen Payne make a move. That's a great skip pass. Got to pay that off.
And Payne, he was on the line out of bounds. Meanwhile, if you're Marquette, what's your approach to this second half? The biggest key or two?
It's the way you ended the half. Same thing. Stay spaced, give each other some room, be ready for defenses to change a little bit. But we saw it already. You double team Payne, push him away from the basket. That alleviates a little bit of pressure on you defensively.
And the three-point line has changed the game as Lowry is off because they started 0 for 8 from 3. They finished the first half 7 for their final 16 from downtown. Saunders, extra pass to the 5-star Adams. Same team.
Wow.
2 Terrapins were right underneath the rim.
Marquette fortunate there because you're right. There were only red jerseys underneath. That ball got poked away. Dodged a bullet. Take a look. I mean, really 3 in the area, 3-on-1 in terms of rebounding in favor of Maryland, excuse me.
Ross is fouled by Saunders.
Again, Saunders is so big and strong, and he can give so much to this team, but these silly fouls that you just don't need, and I've been in those situations as a player. You're bigger, you're stronger, you're trying to assert yourself, but you got to know the angles and how to drag a guy down and stay in front without fouling.
That's a turnover. Yeah. Buzz Williams said this morning at shoot-around, Elijah Saunders has to be big time for us. He's got 82 games under his belt, Donnie, 47 starts. You're talking about San Diego State, Brian Dutcher. You're talking about playing at Virginia, getting coached up at UVA. Buzz said sometimes a guy has it in him, but he's like, I'm trying to tap into that. I know he's got it. We just need him to unleash.
Yeah, he's trying. He's skilled, and they have him playing 2 and 3 different positions. So it's not all him. He's trying to play the right way. You can never reprimand a guy for playing hard and making aggressive mistakes, which is what he's doing.
Oh, Payne lost the ball. From behind, it was Lowry. Here comes Chase Ross, flying to the rim.
That's a really nice job, Marquette. You force Payne to catch it at the elbow, and now you sneak someone in from that backside to poke the ball away.
Coit with a wild pass. 7th Maryland turnover. Again, they've got numbers. Exactly what Buzz Williams did not want. It's James.
Well, turning their defense into offense is so big for Marquette. They didn't get a chance to do that in the first half.
Saunders can't buy one, and Donnie, they immediately look for pace. Shaka Smart told us where we're at right now. The moment we get a stop, go.
Yeah.
Go.
Call that mindless basketball. You don't have to think about any plays. You just use your ability.
Ross is off. Now Maryland, maybe they've got numbers. Mills, nice dish from Adams. Mills can't fit it in. Lit on the bucket, and then look at the outlet pass.
Yeah, I think that should have been goaltending. You know, Chase Ross hit that backboard, and the whole stanchion moved around. I mean, it's not just grabbing the rim, it's smacking that backboard, and everything shifts. But this is really a good job here. Coming from that backside, Lowry sharing the basketball, Ross in transition. This is what creates momentum for teams, especially early on. They found their touch, but early on they were really struggling from downtown Marquette. Well, you come out in the second half, you don't have to worry about any of that when you're creating opportunities in transition.
Now Marquette with a 12-4 advantage in fast break points. It's back to Ben Gold. Maryland won for their last 11 from the floor. Ben Gold out of the NBA Global Academy in Australia. Academy's first product from New Zealand to sign with an NCAA Division I program.
Another wonderful kid, very thoughtful. When you sit and you talk to him, he's got a lot of substance to him. Great conversations with Ben Gold. Just another great weapon on the floor, but a luxury to have for Shaka Smart in terms of leadership.
So important with leadership. As Payne is fouled from behind by Hamilton. That's Hamilton's third foul.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Anytime the back of your uniform is facing the ball and the ball's on the wing and you're big, nothing good is going to happen. It's got to work on just changing those angles if you're Hamilton and how to slide through and backpedal to get back to your guy after you help.
You brought it up with leadership. I mean, you lose Cam Jones, Stevie Mitchell, and David Joplin. Oh, after you lost Tyler Kolok-Oso-Agudaro the year prior, and they have lost some outstanding program players as Mills glides in and breaks up the drought. Parham to Nigel James.
Yeah, I would like to see Royce catch that ball and go score. You're 4 feet away. Don't be a passer. When you're big, you're not a passer when you catch the ball there. Stay aggressive.
8th Maryland giveaway. James, alley-oop, bucket! St. Lowry at 2.
How about the James? He's got such a great head on his shoulder. Nigel James Jr., just to know, to wait, your timing, your patience.
9th Maryland turnover.
I mean, this is creating, again, offense from your defense, but see his eyes, they're up, never looked at the ball. This is a young player out here. Talked to Shaka Smart about that yesterday, how sometimes when you have freshmen, younger players, underclassmen, you kind of wait. Even though you know they're probably ready to start and to be put in those situations, a lot of coaches will wait 5, 10 games in. Shaka said sometimes when injuries happen and you trust a guy, you just got to let him go, and they've done that with James.
8 on the shot clock. Here's Stevens, the freshman. Off the front of the rim, Parham with the offensive board. It's the 14th offensive rebound for Marquette. Now a foul. 14-0 in offensive rebounds. And look at the emotion of Parham as Marquette. They call them EGBs, energy generating behaviors. They're generating those right now. Big East basketball is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. Oh, what a special moment. An emotional Jarrell McNeil, who when he was playing at Marquette broke the program's 40-year-old scoring record as a senior from 05 to 09. He lit it up for the Golden Eagles. Currently third all-time at Marquette with 1,985 points with his family here and a bunch of teammates. Second team All-American as a senior in 08-09. Big East Defensive Player of the Year in 05-06. He ranks first in program history in steals, and he got really choked up when he looked over to Wesley Matthews and a bunch of his Marquette teammates.
James.
Because he said that just means everything to me. Not to mention when he was a senior, Jimmy Butler was on that team.
You think about who he's in the rafters with, though. Jim Jones, Doc Rivers, Dwayne Wade. I mean, you have some names. pretty special.
Yeah, just amazing to think. Recruited by Coach Crean and then finished out his career with Coach Williams. He thanked both of them. And he also, as Chase Ross steps to the line, by the way, Pharrell Payne committed his 3rd foul, so he's on the bench. Look at all those names.
Hate him. I mean, come on, Lucas. I mean, man. And then I got to tell you, for a player, there really isn't a better way to feel seen. I guess is the best way to put it. To be represented, to always be up in those rafters, man, it just
Doc
so special.
Rivers. Doc Rivers up in the rafters.
Glenn is up there.
People don't realize, the Marquette fans realize it. You and I realize it, but Jim Jones.
Yeah, Jim Jones
He was incredible.
Player. And obviously Al McGuire, if you go all the way down. Legendary coach.
Mills to Payne. Pharrell Payne rises and hits.
See a little bit of his athleticism. And they can try to get him involved. And 3rd foul, Buzz keeps him on the floor.
Well, that's what you and I talked about. That's a travel by Norman. 9th Marquette turnover.
Yeah, you pick up your dribble just a little bit too early, but this is just great transition. Eyes up. Got a guy who can jump that high. I love that he goes up and just kind of just drop this in here. Take it easy on the rim.
They look for Payne. That time he was fronted. You've been talking about how do you guard the entry pass. Parham did.
Well, the only difference is the front there is the pass is coming from another big who they're not that comfortable throwing that pass inside. A guard can lob that thing up softly. This was not a good pass.
A blocking foul call. And now the fouls are mounting for Maryland. That's their 5th team foul. That's on Andre Mills. Mills' 3rd foul.
Mills, I get it. Ross gave him a little chicken wing, but trying to stay in front is so hard. You almost have to back way up and force Ross to be a jump shooter and stopping on a dime.
Adrian Stevens with a kick. Another 3. Yes, sir! Chase Ross is in another zone. 23 points. Marquette's largest lead. They were once down 13. A 22-point swing in this game. Here's Adams. The La Lumiere product. It's going to be on the floor.
I don't like that. I think that should be a continuation.
I agree with you.
The refs are still trying to get used to that at this level. I thought that should have counted. You know, that whistle blows. You got to allow. That ball was picked up. That whistle was here beat. He took 2 steps. I mean, it wasn't like that. It was called on the perimeter. That should have been a continuation and an and one. Got to be consistent with that. I think it does put the officials in a box. Anytime there's a new rule that is really so different than what we've seen before, a lot of them, and I love our referees, I love our officials, our Big Ten and Big East officials in particular, but it's a transition for them to get used to a new call, one that they've been trained for their entire careers to call the other way.
John Gaffney, Paul Sells, Evan Burrows, our crew. On this Saturday afternoon in Milwaukee, Buzz Williams' first trip back to Marquette in 11 years. 3 jobs later as Saunders hits his first field goal of the game. There's his game.
Yeah, we just got to stay on the floor. Got a great body, he's so strong. Again, he can guard so many positions.
Demarius Owens, scoreless in this game. Out to Ben Gold. Maryland gets a stop. Now can the Terps settle back into this one?
Payne's back there just got a flat tire. He stepped on the back of his shoe.
He stopped things here. He's all right. You ever lose your shoe?
Not that I remember, but probably. I never wore the same pair more than once.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a fact. Ask any of my teammates.
That's
they were
impressive
always
by you.
tight, and they were always tight and firm. But I didn't wear low tops. I mean, he's wearing basically running shoes.
I've been cutting my lawn in the same pair of sneakers for the last 5 years.
We'll fix that, John.
Yeah, okay.
You got that new deal with NBC, man. We'll fix that. We'll get you some new shoes,
I
man.
want to keep the same ones, Donnie. Here comes Ross.
And you won't have to cut your grass anymore either.
That's
you
enough
get somebody
now.
to cut your grass.
I like making the turn.
You know what? I'll come and cut your grass. If you can afford me now.
How about this? Chase Ross is going to get paid at the next level.
It's interesting because he does have, and I know there's some people who obviously won't agree with me. He does have some Jimmy Butler tendencies when you watch him. Different size, different hand, but he's got the same mentality that you see this year about him. You know, kind of does a little bit of everything, gives the game what it needs, knows how to back off, is aggressive, obviously is athletic and powerful, but plays with just this Jimmy Butler edge.
Well, he's taking control of the game, has Ross. Adams gliding in and one, Darius Adams.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think that was a foul of exhaustion by Ross. If you're going to foul, you got to foul. Stand in there, either take a charge or foul so they can't score, but you'll see him down here middle of your screen. He kind of just slides. Breathing a little heavy, I get it. He's left it all out there. And Shaka Smart sees that as well.
Adams, one of the best players in Nike YBL. Just does a little bit of everything, and it's why Buzz Williams loved being able to add him late. Guy who had UConn, Tennessee, Alabama, Indiana, North Carolina, Michigan State in on him, and he's a Terrapin.
Fourth highest ranked. That to me is amazing.
You had that ready to go at the same time. And when you name the other three, is Parham is fouled.
Diamond Stone, Derek Queen, and Jalen Smith. I mean,
these guys any good?
They're okay.
Ridiculous company. Parham fouled by Metcalf. To the line for the sophomore Royce Parham, who played an integral role. He hit some big shots in the win at Maryland last year for Marquette, then a freshman, and they thought, well, look what we've got cooking here. And now in year two, the expectations are high. You like the fact you want him to keep shooting it because Shaka Smart says he provides a wrinkle to a defense with his size.
I think that's how you grow, though, when you make mistakes, you miss shots. That's the only way you're going to grow, and it teaches you to try to work through some of that adversity. The ball's going to miss more than you're going to make it, but you have to continue to stay aggressive and understand how important you are to this Marquette team if you're Royce Parham.
Here's Payne, driving in with the Payne. Oh, no. Oh, Payne down. Oh. That you just, your heart drops. Maryland superstar is down and in pain. We're going to take a break. And we really hope number 21 is okay. Well, folks, Pharrell Payne driving to the basket and dunking it home. And when he came down, he collided with Josh Clark. Was certainly not on purpose, just an incidental type of thing. And Payne's leg, it went a direction it's just not supposed to go. And the stretcher is out for Maryland superstar, who has 13 points in this game, has not missed a shot. He is such a special talent, Donnie. And I think everybody in this building and beyond, this is tough to watch. The stretcher is out for Payne. And the Marquette fans are going to stand and give him an ovation. We absolutely hate to see Hate to see this for this young man who is just such a special talent. Buzz Williams called him the light of the program. Every single day just brings leadership, brings an energy that is special. We are thinking of that young man as he is stretched off the floor. A tough, tough thing to watch. With 12-14 to go in this game. And a 58-53 Marquette lead. And Maryland, they said morning prayer at their shoot-around. Buzz Williams is a man of rich faith and believes in prayer in his program and brings that daily. And they now are going to be fighting for one of their own.
And it's a team that's already been decimated by injuries. But that one just tough to watch. And now trying to get over the emotional hump to try to finish a game that is probably the least important to that man right there and his team, getting a win versus the health of one of his players.
12 minutes to go as Nigel James is rejected by Metcalf, and now we'll see how Maryland can respond. Mills all the way. That's how you play for your teammate.
Yeah, you get a stop at one end and you turn that, listen, they were doing so well in the half court in the first half that they didn't have to create that many fast break points. Well, that's the way you respond. And Ben Gold, you notice how he's stretching that range out just a little bit. He's taking about 3 NBA range three-pointers today. It's comfortable out there.
Got 10 points. That's the senior. Shot clock down to 10. That is a deep three. Just off the front of the rim and picked up by Lowry. Off the hands of Hamilton. Back to Maryland. So they're going to rely here on Colin Metcalf on the interior. Maryland led this game by 13 in the first half. Payne went out with the 2 fouls. Things unraveled for them in the remainder of the half. So now it's Metcalf, who transferred in from Northeastern, as Ross is guarding Mills, checks back in. Mills from the corner, he's fouled.
And Ross just checked back in too, got a long break, got his wind, and immediately fouls. Mills shooting a 3 in the corner. And listen, those injuries take the air out of the entire building, we know, but it also affects the opponent too, trying to continue to play with aggression. Players respect one another, even if they're on other teams. They understand what injuries mean, and they feel it as well.
Mills with the second made free throw. By the way, when we talk about the continuation thing a couple possessions ago and that new emphasis for the officials, that was one of those cases earlier on the Adams drive where you get one step and officials looked at that. We talked with the officials during a stoppage. They said, just looked like you got an extra step in there. You can't go more than one on that continuation emphasis, hence why they called that foul on the floor. If it's 2 steps, it's just a ball out of bounds.
I mean, I still think, though, if you're going to implement that rule, it's got to be the rule. It can't continue to be subjective. The NBA doesn't do that. If you're trying to get close to where they call it, you got to let that play go.
Gold is short. Rebound to Saunders. And a 3-point game with 11 minutes left. Saunders on the take. And he hits.
Great patience.
Perhaps this, Donnie, is the opening for Elijah Saunders to step through. Buzz Williams has been waiting on it. Gold again. In and out. Hamilton with the offensive rebound. He's fouled. That is the 15th offensive rebound by Marquette. Maryland has none. That's crazy.
Yeah, Marquette's putting themselves in great positions. Their bigs are staying down low. Even when Ben Gold is out knocking down some threes, guards will sneak in. When he's out there shooting the deep ball, they'll have a wing or a guard down low to try to help the other big come up with an offensive rebound.
Well, back to Caden Hamilton. Shaka Smart talked with us about yesterday. He just said it's in Caden to become something special for our program at 6'9", 245. Went through a redshirt year. He said it all starts with the mental side. Shaka brought it up. When you've got Cam Jones and you've got Tyler Kolek and Oso Ighodaro through the last couple of years, Donnie, the mentality piece takes care of itself. Now these are new guys taking on different roles.
You hear so many of these coaches trying to figure out what culture is when you have brand new teams. Well, Marquette already knows what their culture is.
That's an 11th Maryland turnover. There's that full court pressure. It gives you some Havoc vibes of vintage Shaka Smart at VCU.
Yeah, it does now. I thought earlier they weren't as aggressive up in the guy's chest and making Maryland think.
Hamilton is fouled again. And now the fouls have mounted to a point where Maryland's over the limit, so it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah, just that left arm. See him grabbing his chest. He's basically bear hugging him from behind, and Saunders puts his hands up like, what I do. Those, again, we talked about this with Saunders, the silly fouls. You're strong enough. Stand in there. Use that body and try to stand your ground. You don't need to use those arms and wrap around. And you got help on the baseline as well.
Nick Hamilton 4 of 6 in this game. Entered the game 80% on the year from the stripe. So that's certainly an encouraging sign for Marquette that he's able to, upon getting fouled, step up. And Marquette, 8 of 10 from the line after that miss in this second half. It's a 4-point game. Saunders hoits and hits.
So talented. He really is. That just a couple of defensive mistakes, miscues I should call them. But he can score at that end in so many ways.
How about the fight of Maryland? Without their best player, Pharrell Payne, who goes down with an injury, Terrapins lead.
Only their 10th fast break point. They have that ability, though, but they got to get on this glass.
That's deflected.
Gotta go.
Alston with the fight. Here come the Terps. Isaiah Watts from downtown. It's out. It'll stay with the Terps.
I mean, that's a confident pull-up there for Watts. You know he's done it before, but look at this move by Mills. And then really nice job by Saunders to get his feet under him, take one breath, and then knock that shot down. This is why, offensively, why he's so important and really more important for him to stay on the floor defensively and stay in front of guys, keep his hands up without the tic-tac fouls, because he can do some damage on the offensive end, Elijah Saunders.
Maryland, that was their first 3 of this second half after 8 consecutive misses from downtown. 6 for their last 8. Coit has had a day with 17 points. The Kansas transfer with 10. Off to Watts. Isaiah Watts lights it up again. He's got 10. 8-0 run. They're playing inspired basketball for their star player. Crossover, stolen away. Watts, the masked man, lays it off to Adams. 10-0 run. Timeout Marquette. How about Buzz Williams Terps?
How about the unselfishness? I mean, extra pass here. Coit to slick Watts. grandson, and then again the young man out of West Seattle, Washington, gives it up. Adams, Maryland in control here in Milwaukee.
The NBA is on NBC and Peacock. On Peacock NBA Monday, it's Bucks versus Cavaliers at 7 Eastern. Then in primetime on Coast to Coast Tuesday, it's Grizzlies versus Spurs and Suns versus Trailblazers on NBC and Peacock. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks who beat the Hornets last night, he said, random thoughts, I sit in my living room. Do I have college eligibility? Can I suit up for Marquette tonight? Shaka Smart, he's thinking, hey, come on over.
I mean, he's only averaging 32.6 points a game. No, they need more. He's not. Check back next time, man. No, they could use him right now on this little run. Since Payne went down at that 12-16 mark, Maryland has gone on a 17-6 run, John. Talk about inspired basketball. Sometimes it goes the other way. You're so concerned about your teammate. Boy, have they responded, Maryland.
10 straight in just 70 seconds. Here's Gold running in, can't hit the bunny, rebound to Metcalf. Well, Buzz Williams told us our backcourt has to come alive as Watts is getting his shoe.
Hey, those low tops.
Stoppage here for him to get sorted out. Well, Buzz Williams said, look, we went 4 for 21.
I mean, he's got laces and a strap. Oh, you got to do the strap too, young fella. There you go. Let's tighten that thing up. Now you got laces and a strap, and your shoe comes off.
All sorted out.
It's a little overdone to me. It's like you got 2 seatbelts on. You shouldn't come out of your seat.
There.
It's a good commercial though for your shoes.
Sure. 12th turnover by the Terps. That's the difference, Donnie. When they've hung on to the ball, they've shot close to 60%.
Coit senses it. He feels it. He knows. And that little run there, he knows he made a mistake. This is where they have to get it back, though. In that zone. Got a rebound out of the zone, though.
Chase Ross off the front of the rim. Another offensive rebound, the 16th. Lowry. No, Coit with the board.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. You're standing around, you're looking at a teammate thinking it's his area to go get the rebound. Next thing you know, the other team's grabbing it.
Coit got space. Dickey's day continues. 19 points for David Coit. Ross ends a 12-0 Maryland run. If you're just joining us, Pharrell Payne goes down earlier in this half with a brutal-looking leg injury. We're thinking, we're praying for Pharrell. Stretchered out. Maryland, though, has responded and playing inspired hoops. That's Colin Metcalf, the Northeastern transfer.
They've really stretched out the defense of Marquette. The spacing is destroying what Marquette's trying to do. That was a much-needed three from the Red Mamba in the corner.
13 for Gold. Maryland trying to get a signature road win. Adams was fouled. There was contact on that take. It's on the floor.
Talk about tempo, up and down. Maryland playing inspired after Payne goes down, but Marquette says this is our house. We got to protect it. Got a great game here, folks. Don't go anywhere.
It's Big Ten Saturday night. UCLA, #1 ranked Ohio State, tonight on NBC and Peacock. Here comes Saturday night, presented by Discover. Noah, Todd, KT, our whole crew ready to roll from Columbus. The Buckeyes have been unstoppable. What a year the Big Ten is having in football, with several teams capable of fighting for the grand prize. All right, 7:10 to go here in Milwaukee. Maryland 74, Marquette 69. Donnie, what do you think the final 7 and change will come down to?
Taking care of the ball like Buzz told us. I mean, you can't turn the ball over this last either team, because both teams have taken really good advantage of.
Oh my goodness. Parham corralled, Lowry off the heel. Battle for it's going to stay with Marquette.
Wow.
Ross threw that ball over his head.
I mean, that was a Hail Mary.
Yes,
It was just, I mean, again, we've seen a couple out of timeouts for Marquette, not what Shaka has drawn up when you get the ball back. So obviously some things are going to have to work on, but those out of timeouts are so big.
Offensive rebounds now at 18-1 in favor of Marquette. Here's Ross. He's been the star. Being asked to be that. Parham can't corral. It's Adams and the Terps. They have tightened the screws.
I mean, they were 13 of 22 in the first half, and they're that in the second half, John. Maryland, I mean, you talk about being consistent no matter what's been in front of them, what defense they're seeing.
Adams is fouled.
He really knows how to get fouled. Knows how to draw that contact. He's long, and he's got that first explosive step. Really high IQ basketball, Adams, as well. Especially, he plays older than his age. I mean, he just knows defenders turn the wrong way, give up my body, get to the foul line.
Darius Adams back at the line, and has a terrific family. Destiny having played at Rutgers. Darius just such a leader for both his high school en Lumiere and in EYBL. Anytime you watched him on the circuit, made winning plays happen. Buzz Williams loves his character, and that's why he trusts him.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he's got 5 stars next to his name, and a historic freshman class, by the way. It's been unbelievable to watch these freshmen, but Buzz really trusts this kid and his ability.
Well, the luxury you have with Adams is that he can play a few different positions with his size and his ability to get to those scoring areas. He can handle the ball really well. He's going to grow into that body. He's going to get stronger. He may not be in a Maryland uniform after this season because he's that good, but it's going to be fun to watch him no matter where he plays, at this level or the next.
Here's Ross with 10. Chase Ross with 8. Deflected into the hands of Gold with 4. Gold blows the bunny.
Really nice play, though. He cradles it and got where he wanted to. Probably surprised he was that open, John.
Less than 6 to go. Coit. Behind the back.
Yeah.
Blocked. Tipped. Gold. Ben Gold. Way short. And Maryland again with another big stop.
I'd love to see James catch that, show a shot instead of catching it and already have it put down in front of him. Just keep more pressure on the defense.
That'd be a big 3. It's long. Offensive rebound to Saunders. Just their second of the game. Saunders tangled up. Saunders, no.
Really nice no call. Parham did a good job of getting that arm in there, trying to get a steal.
James hanging. Straight up defense. Deflected. It stays with Marquette. Marquette is now 2 for their last 16.
We have seen multiple point-blank shots by Marquette the last few trips, wide open, and they just can't pay them off. But they're getting everywhere they want to get to. They're getting downhill, they're getting to the rim. And Buzz may be considering a challenge here.
And yes, it looks as if he is. Now talking to Shaka Smart, each coach with their respective challenge, and if Buzz Williams is successful, he'll keep it.
The previous play is being challenged by Maryland. Out of bounds call.
So an out of bounds call is One of those protocols, as we've talked about, officials can no longer in the last 2 minutes of the game just go to the monitor every time. So this comes with 4:51. Here's what coaches can challenge. On top of the out-of-bounds, goaltending, basket interference. Until the final 2 minutes, officials can look at that themselves in the final 2 minutes, whether secondary defender was in the restricted area until the final 2 minutes as well. So the out-of-bounds thing, that's really, it's such a huge thing. 4:51, this is going to be a big challenge here.
I think we should stick with the 2 minutes theme, though, and give these officials 2 minutes at that monitor. Because this is always a pet peeve of mine. I appreciate that they're trying to get it right. You give the coaches a challenge. But sometimes these games just go so long because they're taking so long at that monitor. And you have 6 eyes on this to be able to confer with each other and see what happened. You know, you want to get it right, John, but we can't. You don't want to. The officials can't stand over there for 5 minutes.
Well, I will say, by first glance, we'll get another look, but by first glance, it looks like it could be a successful challenge because my eyes saw that ball go off Parham and just bounce out of bounds. We'll see what they determine. They called it Marquette ball. Let's see.
I mean, Parham's hand is facing the other way, that left hand, the way that the ball went. Now, whether it deflected off of Watts on the way after Parham hit it, that's hard to see from that angle, but
if Buzz Williams is successful, he keeps his challenge. So he would get a second opportunity. This is a huge moment because coaches, you talk with a lot of them, they say, well, I want to keep it late for an out of bounds. Here we go.
Previous out-of-bounds play has been challenged and is correct by Maryland. They retain their timeout as well as one more challenge for the game. Maryland ball baseline.
Buzz Williams successful. A huge challenge to give Maryland the ball with 4:51 to go in a 6-point lead. That was well done. That's why you have him. He used it. Now he gets a second.
yeah, and it was the right play. Buzz got some information from one of his coaches. They said, let's talk about this. And you're right. It's not nothing. It's still a close game. And the way this game's been going back and forth and the runs, it was obviously, in hindsight, a terrific challenge.
Well, we'll track it now to see what the result is because you're talking, it's a 6-point game now. Marquette keeps it. They could get it to 4, if not 3. Now you got a chance to make it 7 or 8. Huge opportunity for the Terps to capitalize. Coit with 10. Diggy's having a heck of a game. Saunders stripped, and he turned it over.
Adams had a mismatch with Gold in front of him, really wanted that ball back. Coit just missed him.
13th turnover. Ross, another missed layup.
Man, they are getting downhill. That is 3 in a row, point blank.
Adams.
You almost knew he was going to shoot that because they missed him the last possession down. Would like to see him put it on the floor a little bit.
By the way, Marquette 9 of 19 on layup attempts. Make it 9 of 20. Back to Maryland. We got a timeout. Maryland playing for their star, Pharrell Payne, who went out of this game and looking to close out a huge win. Our game summary, Diggy Coit with 19 for Maryland. Their backcourt has come to life. Maryland has shot the ball sharply. 54% on the game. Chase Ross trying to keep Marquette in it. But, Donnie, the Terps have heated up offensively today.
Yeah, they came out of the half. You're right. They were shooting the lights out. Payne goes down. They end up playing inspired basketball despite that. But the last 2:25, John, neither team has scored. So you can feel you're getting down to crunch time. These easy baskets were showing you they haven't happened. About 2:25 for Maryland and a good 3.5 for Marquette on the other side. And we've illustrated the missed layups. I think now what happens is you get down to crunch time. You start to think a little bit too much. Your body starts to, now physically you start to wear down. It's been an intense game, John. It's been a good one. Back and forth, physical.
Well, and since Pharrell Payne, that's part of this game summary, went out with the leg injury, Maryland's outscored Marquette 25-12. And now, in Buzz Williams' return, trying to come out with a road win. Count it!
Wow.
Emerging was the masked man Watts from the baseline.
Man, this is just, Mills is forcing the issue. Great job not fouling, but you lose sight on that backside. Isaiah Watts sticking his nose in there. You don't get that from a lot of guards, especially a guy who's already got a mask on. You know, that's fearlessness. He doesn't care. He's already, I guess you're like, hey, I got protection on my face, so what else could go wrong now? Great hustle play.
Emerging from the shadows and coming up with a huge three-point play. And now Maryland is up by 9, 6 straight. Hit that panic button if you're the team in blue. Haven't scored in 4 minutes. James off the window.
They've gotten to the rim, John. There's been no resistance. They just haven't paid them off, Marquette, you know, the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Here's Coit with 10 on the shot clock, less than 3 to go. Diggy Coit. Coit kicking. Adams, the 5-star, gets his man in the air. Darius Adams, his moment.
Kid is so smart, never in a hurry. And what makes Maryland have that punch is they have 3 guys who can handle the ball, score the ball, and they're unselfish on the perimeter.
10 on the shot clock. The Terps defense has been smothering these last 5-6 minutes. Gold cannot.
Man, it's tough. And that just takes the wind out of you. Again, you're missing layups, point blank.
Diggy.
Clock is your friend right now if you're Maryland.
Coit with 7. To the corner. Watts. Yes, sir! Dagger! Ross and 1.
It's a nice job getting back up the floor when Maryland's celebrating a little bit about hitting a shot from the corner. You just can't do that. I know it's a 10-point game, but still can't celebrate till the thing's over. It might have been the reason why Ross gets this layup. Got to keep playing.
Isaiah Watts. What a breakout game. Just 3 points against Alcorn State. Averaging a bucket a game through the first 3. On this day, 16 points, 5 of 6 from the floor. He's hit 3 threes. Maryland's hit 8 triples.
Now, Watts is a terrific player. He's experienced. Obviously, he's got the DNA in him. Beautiful stroke.
All the way. Tip back doesn't go. Here's Ross. Ross trying to rush. Now you got 1:15 to go. James kicking. Lowry driving. Lowry straight up defense. Sticks it back. 8-point game. Timeout Shaka Smart. He's got 1 left. 1:05 to play in Milwaukee. Marquette will try to set up that press. Maryland looking to close. Here's our upcoming schedule. Hey, currently on NBC and here on Peacock, it's Michigan and Notre Dame, a top 20 women's showdown. Terrific matchup. Ohio State, UConn, top-ranked UConn women hosting the Buckeyes tomorrow noon. And then it's John Blackwell. It's A.J. DeBonsa. Wisconsin, BYU, Friday at 4 Eastern time here on Peacock. 1:05 to go. Marquette with a timeout. Maryland has 3 if they have any issues with the press here. Maryland in the bonus, Marquette in the double bonus. The possession arrows with the Golden Eagles. So take me through what you're thinking here, partner.
I expect to see a full court press, or maybe just pick up full court, slow them down, eat some of the clock if you're Maryland. You don't need to go for any steals. Keep the ball in front of you.
And if you have any issues inbounding the ball, that's why you got three in your pocket.
Yeah, sorry. Push up on the pressure. I'm sorry, if you're Marquette, when that ball comes back down, you don't have to be in a hurry if you're Maryland right now. Handle the pressure. Nothing fancy. If you're Marquette, you got to take some chances now. Probably too late to foul at this point.
With 15 on the shot clock. And it would be it's a single bonus situation for Maryland. Marquette's just going to play this out. 7 on the timer for Coy. Adams.
I mean, even if you didn't score, there's a timeout by Buzz, but even if you didn't score, you kind of did your job by using up as much clock as you could.
Yeah.
If you're Maryland.
100%. You don't often, though, then see, and this is the benefit of having 3, Buzz Williams said, I'll use one right here. I got 5 on the shot clock.
Yeah, why not? And you can get a reset, hit the reset button, get a side out. Because a lot of teams take a lot of time on their out of bounds under, their side out of bounds. So I'm sure Buzz Williams has a play drawn up for a side out of bounds that would be more effective than trying to get a last second shot in the flow of the game, as we were probably going to see that last 5 seconds.
Now for Maryland, what this could mean. And look, for the Terps, you think about where they're at from a schedule standpoint. They're going to have Mount St. Mary's next, and then they're off to the Players Era tournament. They'll take on UNLV and Gonzaga. Those matchups on Monday and Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. And we'll see them deeper into the season on Peacock January the 2nd when they welcome in Oregon. Also when they host Washington in February. This would be a heck of a win for a team that had to deal with such a brutal injury to Pharrell Payne, their heart and soul guy. With 2 on the shot clock, that one is long, but you said they did the job.
Yeah, used up almost all the clock. And
Gold got it. It's down to 5. Shaka Smart calls his final timeout with 26.7 seconds to go in this game. Maryland has 2 timeouts.
And now if you're Buzz Williams, you're getting your best free throw shooters around the ball and be ready to knock down some shots, because a quick foul has to happen if you're Marquette.
And again, Maryland, who is 17 to 21 in this game from the line, 81%. They've been very good. It's a huge strength of theirs, among the nation's leaders in free throws. They're in the single bonus. Got those 2 timeouts. If there's a tie-up, the possession arrow is with Marquette. What do you think Buzz Williams is telling his guys right now in this huddle?
The theme that he had for us, take care of the ball. And now more important than ever, we got a little cushion, so there's probably not that much stress, but he's telling his guys, take care of the basketball. If we need it, we got 2 timeouts.
Yep.
Don't panic. Take care of it. Be ready to knock down some free throws.
Well, you think about where this Maryland program is with 15 new guys. You could feel that last Friday against Georgetown, that they were trying to figure some things out. And you come into this atmosphere, your head coach is back at a former home. And then you lose your best player, trailing by 7. And the response and the resilience factor. You're talking about a second half where you're down by 9 at one point, and Coy and Payne only end up scoring 4 points thus far. So this has been quite the effort and the emergence of a supporting cast that they were looking for. All right, 26.8. Getting into Mills.
Yeah, you got to foul immediately. Mills, what, 60% free throw shooter. That's, you got to pick your poison a little bit, and probably the best option. Sometimes the one in front of you is the only option, especially when you have 26 seconds to go in the game. You got to get one quick and try to get the ball back.
3 for 3 from the line in this game is Mills. You brought up 60%. 6 of 10 on the season entering this game. It's been good today. Andre Mills, who redshirted last year, makes the front end. By the way, you have quite a shooting background here, too. I mean, behind the basket, there are all kinds of things that the Marquette students have brought to the table.
And you always wonder, too, do you know, free throw shooting, do you look at the rim? Do you look at the net? What do you look at when you shoot?
Well, 5 of 5 from the line. And this is a
really
huge
good.
strength of the Terps. Unhappy bananas. Maryland has come in here and they have ended this party. 7-point game. Ross to Gold. Gold flips it in. No timeouts for Marquette. 2 for Maryland. 17 seconds. Saunders into Watts, and he's fouled.
And he's only 4 or 5 on the season. Is Isaiah Watts from the foul line, including today. So they're trying to find the guys who haven't been there a lot. Problem is, these guys can, for Maryland, they can stroke the rock.
They sure can.
And they've been around. Obviously, Mills, you know, developmental red shirt last year, but Watts has taken some free throws over his career.
Watts swishes it home. 24 free throws made. Top 15 in the country for these Terps.
And his dad and grandfather could shoot some free throws too. So, and he's got the pedigree, Isaiah Watts.
Grandpa Slick made it to the NBA Finals as a Supersonic. All right, here comes Coy. So Maryland has handled that pressure seamlessly. 10 for 11 from the line in the second half. Now that's exactly what you don't want with 12 seconds. Mills with the foul. Buzz Williams instantly put his hands on his head.
But really not that upset. He's been around a lot. We talked about it. Every school he's been at, he's won at least 100 games. So he's been in every situation possible, Buzz Williams, and he also knows how to continue to inspire his players and not wear them down because of one foul.
Well, I love that you brought that up because Buzz Williams is one of only 2 coaches to win 100+ games at 3 power conference schools. So Texas A&M, Virginia Tech, Marquette. The other, Rick Barnes.
Yeah.
That's the list. That's it. Remarkable. 12 seconds here for the Terps. And Adams is fouled. And you're talking about the guys who have done it at 4 different institutions, Steve Alford and the Maryland legend, Lefty Driesell. And now he's in College Park, and Donnie, he's got a game plan. And that game plan always revolves around one word that you talk about, toughness.
Yeah, toughness. I think for Buzz, being back at it, Maryland is very similar, their situation, to Marquette when he was here. It's a basketball-centric school. He got away from that a little bit. His last stop, and I think he kind of understands, to go back to a school, a program that really cares first and foremost about their basketball is important to him.
Says a lot about their program. You always talk about finding an identity, a personality. Look, big picture for Al Payne, we hope that he's all right.
Yeah.
It did not look good, but they found something in this game as a group, as a team.
How to come together. Anytime you got new guys, try to speed up that pace of trying to come together as a unit.
In a homecoming for their coach, Maryland announces that their Buzz Williams era is here.
nice job. I think the game plan for Maryland was take the punch or give the first punch. Well, they gave the first punch to start this game. This was an emotional game in so many ways for Buzz as a coach, coming back to Marquette, having a team full of guys. He had a few of them last year with him, but to put this thing together on the road and then to play through the emotion of losing Pharrell Payne, boy, you talk about a character builder for this Maryland Terrapins team. This was really a bigger game, I think, down the stretch than it is right now.
The Maryland Terrapins get it done on the road, 89-82. What a win for Buzz Williams and his group. They grew big time today. Maryland over Marquette for Donnie Marshall. I'm John Fancy. Get to NBC and Peacock for Notre Dame, Michigan women's action now. Thanks, everybody.